Oh, it screwed me over. Okay, I'm gonna do an intentional suicide here just because I'm actually gonna save time by doing this because there's a big shortcut that the game kind of screwed me out of there. It's really weird the way this works. Normally Sonic should hug the floor, kind of, or roll along the floor while he's going down there. Come on, do it. God damn it. I'll give it one more shot. There's a big shortcut there that that's really worth taking, and it's actually worth me like trying it repeatedly like this. Maybe if I try going a bit slower, it'll help. Yeah, I'll give it one more shot, then sort of go through the normal way. There we go. And we shoot all the way up. You skip a big portion of the level by doing it that way. Although, like I just demonstrated for you, sometimes it will just not go your way, and you'll get kind of flung off the side of that steep ramp just for no good reason. Typically, I've found that I've had better luck on that ramp if I don't hold down while rolling down it. Like, I just press down once to roll into a ball, and then just don't continue holding down. And I find that I tend to have better luck with it if I handle it that way. There's a potential cheap hit there if the spiked platform swings and hits it at just the wrong time. It can hit you as you're coming up there before you can even see it, which is kind of lame. But in general, actually, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 is kind of better about not having those kinds of cheap hits compared to some of the later Sonic games. Or, actually, they're not... Okay, it's very difficult to... You can actually roll into that one without taking a hit, but it's very difficult. Sonic 1 better about the cheap hits, in my opinion, than the later Sonic games. Not that the later Sonic games are particularly bad about it, actually. And once you sort of get a sense for the level design, it's actually... You can sort of get a sense for when enemies and obstacles are about to show up, and just without even memorizing the levels, you just kind of get sort of a Sonic sense and are able to predict what the levels are probably going to throw at you. This boss right here I really like. There are multiple ways to kind of hit him. You can bounce the spikes back into him, or you can sort of like I showed off with the previous zone's boss, you can actually just hit him while he's at the lowest point in his sort of floaty cycle as well. And by far the easiest way to get him, actually, is to, if you... Yeah, okay, not quite. But if you jump at just the right time... Oh, I messed it up. But if you jump at just the right time when a spiked ball is about to spring you upwards, right before the spiked ball lands, if you jump right before it lands, you'll get extra height off of that jump, and then you can get a really high jump and just come down, bounce on top of Robotnik from a high enough altitude that you can just continuously bounce off him and just chain bounce him to death without any difficulty. I didn't do it that way this time just because I kind of wanted to show off all the different ways you can hit him, but yeah, I really like that boss just for that reason. It's really fun to play, in my opinion. There's another boss later in the series, the Hydrocity boss in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That's also a lot of fun for exactly the same reason. A lot of different ways to hit that guy. Which is kind of unusual. Most of the Sonic bosses tend to be very simple. Like, very, very simple in their design. Especially in Sonic 1. Particularly with their visual design, actually, in Sonic 1. They're all based on, like, the same very simple sort of Eggmobile. With maybe just some sort of simple contraption attached to it. Whereas, yeah, the later Sonic games tended to have more sort of complex layers of armor and stuff layered on top of the, what is that thing called? It's not the Eggmobile, that came later. I forget what it was called. It was the thing that Robotnik rides around in. It was actually, I believe it was actually given a proper name in one of the Sonic racing games. I think, yeah, the Sonic Drift game for Game Gear gave its name. This right here is really nasty. This is a very, very tricky bit of timing that you have to get right here, and you're actually in very serious risk of getting killed if you screw that up. If you get hit by the flames, or if you end up falling through the platforms. There's some moving platforms below that, but yeah, if you miss the moving platforms, then you fall into a pit and die. So yeah, very, very tricky bit of level here. And as you can see, right, we wouldn't get a special stage anyways because we have all the emeralds. But even if you have 50 rings at the end of the Scrap Brain Zone, at the end of Scrap Brain Zone, Act 1 and 2, even if you do have 50 rings, you just don't get a special stage in this zone, no matter what. I'm gonna be going for the high path here, if I can get it. Yeah, Scrap Brain Zone, very, very difficult compared to the other zones in this game, which is, I guess, appropriate for a final zone in a video game, really. But I think they maybe kicked it up a bit too much compared to the previous levels. Especially Starlight Zone was actually one of the easier zones in the game. So it's actually a really big and jump up, yeah, really big and kind of off-putting jump up in difficulty in the Scrap Brain Zone compared to the Starlight Zone. And again, this is, again, one of those really slow-going zones because of all of the obstacles that it throws your way. Yeah, really got to take your time going through here. No real opportunities to build up speed. Although the Starlight Zone was a really good zone for having a lot of those speedways for you to sort of run really fast through, which I really like. So even if in terms of difficulty, its placement is a bit suspect, but in terms of sort of the balance of having, you know, sort of alternating, I think sort of what they were going for with the zones in this game is to sort of alternate between really fast speedway-oriented zones and really slow obstacle-oriented zones. You can sort of see that, like you've got the Green Hill Zone, very open, very easy to just sort of run really fast through without any trouble. And then you've got the Marble Zone, really slow, a lot of obstacles, a lot of waiting for moving platforms. Spring Yard, kind of slow, kind of fast, got some half pipes, got some obstacles. Super duper slow in the Labyrinth Zone, and then super duper fast in the Starlight. So yeah, you sort of alternate back and forth between the fast zones and the slow zones, which is one of the things that I actually really like about the about this game overall. In fact, in terms of sort of the pacing overall, like just sort of the way the game sort of feels put together overall, like the overall structure and pacing feels, just in general, a lot more solid in this game, actually, than in a lot of the later Sonic games, which is a bit weird. You'd think they'd have sort of refined things in that regard as the series progressed, but yeah, in a lot of ways, this actually feels like the most solid Sonic game, or the least janky, I'll say, in the series, which is, yeah, really strange, but, okay, we've got another really big shortcut here. Run in front of that platform, and you skip pretty much all of this level, which is definitely a good thing. This is by far the toughest level in the game. As you can see, we're back to sort of the Labyrinth Zone tile set. Oops. Yeah, seriously mistimed that jump. Yeah, you can't really do my Labyrinth Zone no bubble challenge at all in this particular act. The underwater segments here are way too long, and you've definitely gotta be good about collecting your bubbles. And yeah, this right here is like, we're like right at the end of the zone here. In fact, I think I can probably get through here in under a minute, maybe? Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna clear this in well under a minute. And yeah, this zone would probably take closer to like 2 or 3 minutes otherwise. So I'm gonna be going for a glitch here on the final boss. It's a bit tough to get. And actually, if I do get it, I'm gonna have to die. And I'll be at 1 life left, and I don't think I have any continues, so that would be awful if I had to just this LP ended at this point with me getting game over. Actually, I've got to be a bit careful. This last boss isn't too easy. Or you can trivialize it just by doing it this way. You just go off to the side here, and you don't ever have to worry about being crushed. And the falling energy balls are just no problem whatsoever. I kind of prefer to go in the center as much as possible, though, just because it makes it go by much faster. Like, if you just stay off to the side there, like this, and avoid getting crushed that way, you're completely safe, but you'll be getting hits in, at most, half of the time. Whereas, if you stay in the center, you'll be able to hit him pretty much... Oh, wow, that was lame. You'll be able to hit him pretty much every time, unless you get that sort of unlucky if the two in the center come down and you sort of guess the wrong side, then you won't be able to hit him. But other than that, you can hit him pretty much every time if you just stay in the center. Yeah, actually a bit of a... Probably the toughest boss. Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't want to curse. I tried my best not to curse in this LP just because I know... You know, Sonic the Hedgehog, bit of a kid's game. I mean, you know, it was for the kids back in the game. Back in the day, I was certainly a kid, very young kid, when I first played it. Okay, I think we're on the last hit here, so I am going to be going for the glitch. So, when I was a kid, for a long time, I've sort of been really attempting to try and get 2 hits on this guy per pass. Because, yeah, it turns out that that's impossible. At most, you're going to get 1 hit on this guy each time he comes down. It's just his invincibility frames last too long for you to be able to hit him twice each time he comes down. The exception is when you get the killing blow on him, he moves much, much slower as he retracts down into the ground. So as he's sort of exploding and going back down into the ground slowly, you can get an extra hit on him by rolling into him as he's retreating back down into the ground. This is after you've got the killing blow on him, by the way. So, yeah, what ends up happening when you do that, if you end up hitting him a second time... Oh, I didn't quite get it there. I rolled a bit early, and he wasn't quite done his invincibility frames. Here's a bit of fun you can do. He's sort of getting away. No, he isn't. Get down. So yeah, anyways, I was a bit early on my roll there. If I had rolled just a bit later, I would have gotten an extra hit on him while he was dying. And what happens there is his health actually flips back over to the maximum integer size that it can store. So he actually ends up coming back to life with like 250 hits on him or something like that. And it becomes impossible to actually beat him before time runs out. You just have to suicide and try again. So maybe that would be a bit tedious, I guess, so maybe it's a good thing I didn't get to show that off. But yeah, that was Sonic the Hedgehog 1, the full version of Sonic 1. As you can see, we got our big emerald circle there in the ending and caused the flowers to bloom. Also got some extra animals bouncing around there. Yeah, as a result of getting the emeralds, and yeah, that was Sonic 1. As I said, I've seen out there a lot of people don't really hold this game in high regard. Mainly for a lot of the reasons I've sort of listed as the reason I've given for me liking this game so much, in that, yeah, a lot more slow going compared to the later games, much more obstacle, more of an obstacle course than a speedway, really, overall, in its sort of level design. But I really like, though, a lot of the... a lot of the fun little sort of enemy bouncing chains you can do, and a lot of the little death glitches, and really stuff like that requires really high precision and really sort of rewards... It doesn't really explicitly reward, but just fun things you can do if you've really got a very solid mastery over the controls of Sonic the Hedgehog. Which are, yeah, sort of as I mentioned, I called them clunky. That's not really quite right. They're just very, very heavy. Sonic the Hedgehog is a series all about controlling momentum. That's really what these games are all about. Sonic is very slow to accelerate, and it's very slow to decelerate as well. It's a lot about maintaining your momentum, or just very carefully controlling your momentum to keep going at a very safe, controllable velocity as well. And that's just, yeah, what's really great about the series. Hopefully I sort of captured that a bit in my LP here. And, yeah, I guess I can sort of talk more about just the Sonic series in general and what's great about it if later on. I'll certainly be Let's Playing more of these games. But, yeah, that's sort of my take on Sonic 1, what makes it unique, what makes it worth playing, in my opinion. Definitely check this out if you haven't. But, yeah, that is the way I play through Sonic 1. I had a lot of fun, actually. More so than I even remembered, actually, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of fun playing through this. I hope you had fun watching it. And with that, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Have a good day.